Man,
Mm-hmm.
that's a vibe right there, man. I
It's a
should have
great
I
track,
should
dude.
have I should have I should have put that in the stream deck, man, so I could just play it.
It's a great track. You did good with that one.
That's a vibe right there.
It's
So
hot. It's hot. It's hot.
here we are, man. It's
Hello, good night.
yes indeed. All
Yeah.
right. So here we are.
Here
This
we are.
this is
Hi.
have a conversation after dark, and just here's the premise, right? The whole premise behind this. This is not about laying down the law, as it were, regarding relationships.
What do you mean laying down
So
the
so
law?
you know how sometimes, if we're in a coaching session, we're actually giving some advice that we want you to actually implement,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's not what this is about.
No. No, it's not.
Um, the
Man,
show we do on Sundays, and if you're not familiar with who we are, we'll introduce ourselves in just a moment. But the show we do on Sundays inside the relationship, that is more geared to relationship talk. That hey, we want you to take something and do something with that.
mm-hmm.
Tonight, these after dark conversations are about encouraging you to have a conversation.
Right, 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 right.
Because here's the thing, we are proponents of conversation, and we believe that you should be able to talk about everything.
And I think this after dark, have a conversation after dark.
Hmm.
I think our hope is that it will encourage couples to not just have those conversations that couples should be having just regularly, but to have those conversations that, like pillow talk
Hmm.
conversations or conversations that typically are known to be taboo,
Hmm.
that people don't necessarily like to talk about, but
Yeah.
sometimes they need to be talked about.
Yeah, and that's what this is about. So
Difficult conversations
yeah, and
sometimes.
sometimes yes, difficult conversations sometimes, and then sometimes conversations that. Here's the thing: sometimes conversations that we don't feel like are appropriate conversations, or things
Yes,
that we
that's the
may
word.
right things that we may feel like, oh, I can't really tell her that, like that would make me look some kind of way.
I said taboo. Appropriate
Mhm.
is a better word.
Yeah. So if
Yeah.
if you hear with us live, um, throw something in the comments. If you're watching this via replay, throw replay in the comments. But if you hear with us live, give us a shout. Let us know you here. Um, and so that's what this is about.
Yeah.
We're gonna just talk about some things that we feel like should be open air topics. Because here's the thing: when you talk to your spouse, your significant other, your partner about everything,
Mhm.
you
Mhm.
learn some things about each other.
It grows intimacy too, right?
It grows intimacy. And here's the thing: even the things that you disagree on,
Mhm.
you still need to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
I know that's tough.
Yeah.
Even the things you disagree on,
You still need
you
to talk
still need
about.
to talk about.
Do you think once you've talked about it that you should still talk about it?
Well,
Especially if it's something that you disagree
yeah, it depends. What's up,
on.
Elizan? It depends on what comes of the conversation. Because here's the thing: we have conversations. Let's be honest.
Mhm.
We have conversations, especially if they're tense or difficult ones. We have conversations based on the hope that the resolution at the end will be that we'll be on the same page.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
And while that is a goal, let me be clear, that is a goal. But here's the thing: there are often conversations that we shy away from because we know, or we have an inkling, we may not know, but we think that the other person's not going to agree.
Yeah. I think more so with this environment or what we're trying to encourage with this are those conversations that are uncomfortable.
Yeah. So let me give you an example, and to give you an idea of the kinds of things that we'll talk about. This is light compared to some of the stuff we're going to talk about in upcoming shows. But let me give you an example about conversations that you can have or should have with your spouse that help you learn some things about that, right? Shout out to Shannon. If you're not following Shannon, my God, what's up, big bro?
What's up, Elizan? And what's up, Shannon?
So let me give an example. Here's a conversation we started while I was working on the intro track.
Yeah.
And what I asked Nisi was this: how do you navigate seeing other attractive people? And we know we're not supposed to lust after other folks, right? Because
Mhm.
that's, if we're people of faith, that's considered sin from a big biblical sense. But I see an attractive woman, and you hear all this stuff, bounce your eyes, do all this kind of stuff.
Mhm.
Listen, can I be honest with that? Some of that stuff is garbage. I'm just be honest, right? It's like you telling me, hey, you see a beautiful, I see a Mercedes Benz, one of my favorite cars, and I got to be like,
No, it's not the same
nah,
thing. No,
it
it's
is the
not.
same thing. It's
It's
the same
not
thing.
the same. A
It is the
car
same thing.
and an attractive person is not the same thing.
Can you
Listen,
explain to me why that's not the same thing?
I understand that bounce your eyes. I'm not sure I agree with that either. However, a car and a person, an attractive person, it's not the same thing. No one is going to feel some kind of way. I wouldn't feel some kind of way. You wouldn't feel some kind of way if either one of us saw a car that was really, really nice looking to us and we were like, wow, look at that car. Wow, look at it. That car is something else. It's totally different.
Are you saying I can't do that with another woman?
I think it's disrespectful if you were to do that
Okay. Jason said it's
towards
not the
another.
same thing.
It's not the same thing.
Okay, we're gonna have, we're gonna have to agree to disagree on that one because well, you know what, I'll take that. I'll take that. Here's what I'm saying though, because here's the thing:
I get what you're
just
saying.
like just like with the car, right? I can look at a car. We're driving a Honda Accord, so let's just keep it all the way a buck. We're driving a Honda Accord right now, right? There are some other cars that I like that I feel like are better than a
Mhm.
Honda Accord.
Mhm.
So when I see those cars, it's one thing for me to ooh and ah over the car. It's another thing for me to ooh and ah over the car and feel like my car is trash because it's not trash.
That's not what you said in the beginning.
Right. And so now I'm bringing that in a little bit more context. Shannon said, "Why is it
It's
disrespectful?"
disrespectful, and what I mean by that is not if Ollie were to see an attractive woman and be like, "Wow, she's really attractive." I have no problem with that. My problem comes in because she probably is really attractive. I'm not the only attractive woman out there. I
Hmm.
know that. But I think that the problem comes in where, like you said,
Hmm.
wow, she's really attractive, man. If I could just get a piece of that.
Yeah, but see, that's different. That's not what I'm saying.
How is that
So that's
different?
different. That's different. So hey, D, what's
What's up,
good, bro?
Donnie?
What's happening? What's
Donnie was
happening?
throwing all these pictures up of the egg. You know what that means when the egg comes out. His grill thing, the
Oh
egg.
yeah, yeah. That means we
That's a
got
whole
that
nother
means we got to
story.
jump on the road. That's what
Yeah,
it
that's a
means.
whole nother story.
It means we got to get on the road. That's what it means. So here's the thing, right?
We're
I
glad you could catch us too.
I
Glad you're here.
I know that I know that that reaction that you just described.
Hmm. That's what I meant when I said disrespectful, Shannon.
Okay. Donnie said he did that today.
I saw that.
That's what's up.
Hmm.
So here's what I'm saying. I know that I can't see a woman and be like, goodness gracious, what in the world would I do with that?
Right.
Because obviously, because that speaks directly to how I feel about our relationship. If I see a woman and I'm like and I begin to fantasize about what I could possibly we could possibly do together,
Yeah.
that is indicative of what's happening in our relationship. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that we see attractive people every day,
Hmm.
right? So I give you an example. When I was in the corporate space, I worked at a corporation where it was easily 5 to 1,
Hmm.
easy. And I'm just guessing.
Hmm.
I could be way off. It could be way more than that, right? Incredible looking females everywhere you turn.
Hmm.
Now, what we don't tell people how to do is to recognize that beauty and still remain within the the boundaries of our relationship.
Right.
How do we recognize that beauty and not uh cross the boundary? So let me give you an example. I'll give you an example. There are I'll use my work as an example. So there were guys, and I got to be careful because people who work with me follow me, so I can't really call names or nothing like that. But there are people who, let's say we're in a meeting,
Hmm.
and sometimes these meetings would be in open spaces,
Hmm.
and a particular person would walk by, and the meeting would be interrupted because somebody in the meeting is like,
Mm.
damn,
Mm-mm-mm.
literally
In the meeting.
in the meeting. And so the whole meeting is thrown off.
Mm.
So how do I recognize that beauty without crossing whatever the line is that we're not supposed to cross?
So are you saying what is your response to that person that stops the meeting by
No. I don't care about the dude. I'm talking about me.
when you see this
When I
person?
see the person, what should my response be? Or yeah, what should my response be?
And my question was when you asked me earlier is, do you have to have a response for every attractive person that you see? Do you have to respond?
Okay.
Can you not just think, wow, she's attractive? Because we see
Just you
attractive
mean in your
people.
mind, but not say
Yeah.
anything about it.
Yeah. Because we see attractive people all the time. Are we going to respond to every or about every attractive person that we see? I don't think that people do that.
Yes, people do that.
Every?
Believe me.
Well, I don't think that we have to.
Elizan said you have to consider emotions. A car has none. Your spouse has emotional feelings. Okay, I get that. I get that.
Holly, I like Holly's answer. She
Shannon
said,
said this is good. Oh, Holly,
thanks,
yeah.
Shannon. Holly said, quick admiration internally. Quick.
Quick
Um,
admiration. Okay. I'm gonna put that up in a second.
yeah.
Denzel in the movies, women making all kinds of sound. Yeah. So yeah, that's a good
Denzel in
example.
the movies.
That's good. Yeah. So what about that? What about the people in the movies that people, kind of him and haw over the Idris Elbas and that kind of thing?
Oh, okay.
Is that different than you seeing somebody in the mall?
I don't think I don't know. I don't think that it's different. I don't think that it's different.
Okay, so Shannon just dropped the bomb. So Shannon trying to start fires here. Your spouse has insecurities.
Me?
No, I'm saying your spouse. He's just saying in general. If your spouse can't handle that, what is what I'm saying is what I think he's saying. They have
Then
they
your
have
spouse has
insecurities.
insecurities. Yeah, again, I think for me anyway, I think it goes to, you know, what you're man, she's attractive. I'll even agree with you and be like, yeah,
Mm,
she is really attractive. But
okay.
then what do you do after that? Like what are you going to say after that? Like, man,
Yeah,
if
but see, that's
I
what
don't
you see.
understand then.
See, you keep going to that. That's not what I'm talking about. What if I never go there?
I don't that's
I'm because
fine.
that crosses a boundary.
Why isn't this fan coming on?
Oh, because it's plugged into this light.
Okay.
I'll get it for you in a second. So I'm not talking about crossing a boundary. Quick is relative. What's quick? 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 1 minute. That's a good question, D.
Right. And that's
That's a good
that's why I
question.
paused and I was like, quick.
That's a good question. And yeah, maybe.
Shannon said, does she like Idris?
Yeah, the answer to Shannon, the answer to that question is yes. Yes, she does like Idris.
He's attractive. I think he's attractive. He's British too. Hey.
So check out Holly. Holly says these guys are out of reach. However, overt sounds and gestures are disrespectful.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with that, I think. Quick
Quick.
and internal immediate gestures are normal, but elongated stares sounds is crossing.
Okay. So crossing the line. So the guy that was in the meeting who literally lost focus on what was saying and did like this and was like, damn, that's too much.
Where's the thing? Because I gotta
I
turn
get
this
it. I
fan
get it.
on.
Go ahead. So
I'm
say what you're gonna
sorry.
say.
So yeah, sorry. I'm having a hot flash, guys. I think that I agree with Holly. I agree that the elongated responses and the carrying on, because in my mind, if you're going to continue and be like, "Oh yes," and carry on and carry on and carry on, then I think that you are starting to be a little bit disrespectful. And I think that might be what lust is. You're starting to lust at that point, or at least the sounds you're making sounds like you are lusting, in my opinion.
Okay.
Right?
So okay. Um
Sorry.
no,
I'm
you're good.
disrupting everything on
You're
this
good. You're good.
live.
You're good.
My
You're good.
bad.
No worries. No worries. Let me plug my earbuds back in.
So yeah, that's
Okay.
yeah, I
So
kind of agree with
so
that.
the sounds are disrespectful. Okay, I get that.
1
The
to 5 seconds. I don't know if I'd put a
1 to 5 seconds. Holly said yes, you crossed the line. I guess she's referring to what I said with the guy who got distracted in the meeting.
yeah.
Donnie said acknowledging a beautiful person is human
Human
nature.
nature, absolutely.
So here's the thing: if it's human nature,
Continues. Yeah.
why is it such a problem?
It depends.
So
Okay, here we go. There goes that
mhm,
to Shannon's point. Acknowledging someone's beauty is human
that was
nature.
Donnie.
No, I know.
Oh,
Donnie said that, but
mhm.
then Shannon said your spouse is insecure. I think it's a problem. It becomes a problem if your spouse, it only becomes a problem to the insecure person,
Okay.
is what I think.
Okay.
Before sin is temptation and thoughts. Uh I don't understand that.
Look at Donnie's comment. He had a hot flash when they mentioned Idris. Yeah, I did notice. You're right, bro. Now that I'm thinking about it, the timing was a little odd.
Shut up, Donnie.
So, but here's and the reason why I started talking to you about this earlier is because that is something that we don't talk about because it's automatically assumed
Mhm.
that if one person or the other person sees somebody attractive, they cannot acknowledge it
Yeah.
or there's going to be a problem.
You know what? Speaking of that, I do think that moment of transparency, and I don't think I've ever told you this before.
Hmm.
I think that when I see an attractive person,
Hmm.
I think that it makes me like, oh, let me be careful because I
Right.
don't know how you're gonna respond if I'm like, man, he's attractive.
Hmm.
And I think that I'm just like, I don't bounce or anything, bounce my eyes or anything like that, but I think it makes me uncomfortable because I'm trying to not appear like I'm lusting. And I don't
Right.
even know sometimes if I, or ever, honestly, if I
If you
can
really
say
are.
to you,
Oh.
no, no,
Oh, okay. My bad. I thought we were going somewhere
wow,
else.
no,
My
if
bad.
I can say to you, he's attractive, he's good looking. And so I just keep it to myself.
And that's why we got to have these conversations.
Yeah.
That's why these conversations are important
Yeah.
because here's the thing. You can say that to me.
Hmm.
If if you found no one attractive,
Hmm.
I would be afraid
Really? Why?
because that's not human.
Yeah. So you would think I'm not human.
Well, not even that you're not human, but then that would make me wonder. Okay, so w-
Where do you fall?
yeah,
Mm.
because
We don't ever have those types of conversations. Do
we
you realize
that's
that?
that's what I'm saying. That's why I brought it up earlier because we've never talked about that.
We've never
We've
talked
never
about
talked about that.
this.
We've been married 21 years. We've never talked about that.
You know the people that I think, or the actors, not even actors,
Hmm.
actor that I think is attractive.
Well,
You know that.
we did have that conversation
Yes, we
before
did. We
about
did have that about
celebrities.
celebrities,
Yeah.
but that was it.
Yeah, and I believe that that's a conversation we have to have because you got guys, and I can only I'm saying guys because I can only speak for guys.
Mhm.
You can speak for ladies, but you got guys walking around here on eggshells
Yeah.
trying to act like she ain't attractive. Dude, she is attractive.
Yeah.
Like there ain't no two ways about that.
Yeah.
You know, you got people walk because they don't want to look a certain way. They don't want no beef with their woman when they get in the car and be like, why you was looking at her? And that, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
And
That's
that does happen.
that's the imagery that we get, right? And so now we walking around looking at folk, and I'll be honest, I'll be transparent with you.
You do the same thing, don't
At
you?
at my job, I had to I had to really think about because I'm not the guy who's going to react like that dude in the meeting. I mean, I've never been that guy,
Hmm.
right? Even when I was single, I was still kind of methodical about the way I did things.
Hmm.
So I'm not that guy that's going to have that reaction. But then in my mind, I'm like, okay, should I even think that she's attractive? You know what I mean? You know, I sit at my desk and I'd be like, man, should I actually acknowledge in my head that she's attractive? Like, because you don't have these conversations.
Yeah.
Uh, you both have
Security in
security in
your
your relationship. I
relationship.
think that's the
Yeah,
key.
it is
Okay.
key. Absolutely, it's key.
I know my husband's celebrity crush, hence I know what type of woman might catch. Oh, okay. All right. I can get that. Here's what I think. And again, these Saturday night conversations are not about us telling people what they should think or do.
Right.
It's really about can you have this conversation with your significant other?
Yeah.
Because you should be able to,
Right, right, right,
right?
right.
So here's the bottom line. There are a ton of attractive people in the world.
Exactly.
And I said something, I put up a post on I can't remember what day it was, one day this week where I was like, it's not about you not seeing someone attractive. It's about you making your significant other the point of reference for what attracts you, because those are two different things.
Mm.
So I can see somebody that's attractive.
Hmm.
That's very different from me being attracted to them.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't think so?
I got to think
Because
about
here's the
that.
thing. Here's here's why I think that. I can say, man, she's beautiful,
Hmm.
right? That's me acknowledging the beauty that I saw, and I keep it moving.
Hmm.
Or I could be like, man, whew, she's dope. I can split that in half.
Okay. And that's being attracted
Right.
to.
Now I've crossed a line
Okay.
into something different that
Hmm.
now involves my emotions and my my imagination and all of that.
Got you.
Right. I didn't
Yeah.
do that with the first one. The first one, I was just like, oh man, she's beautiful.
Yeah.
Boom, I'm on my way.
Hmm.
So I think that there is I think there's a difference.
Hmm.
That's just me. Um,
Yeah. I
Jason said
agree.
these
I agree.
conversations need, yeah, bro, without a doubt.
They
Because
do.
listen, I'm gonna tell you what, all of the trouble I got into is because nobody ever talked to me about it.
Yeah. That's true.
All of the foolishness that I did when I was at Andrews University is all based on me just winging it and thinking that, what I was doing was dope.
Yeah. It's true.
Um, so much divorce and that's, yeah, you're right. You're right. Holly said, I get it. Donnie said, I agree. Ridiculously needs to be addressed. Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Samuel Russell.
I once listened to a guy in Christian radio that said that he trained his eyes not to look and that he does not even buy
Yeah,
Sports Illustrated magazines. I
I,
think that's
I don't subscribe to that whole train your eyes. What are you asking me to do?
yeah.
Because if I can train my eyes not to recognize attractiveness,
Mhm.
one day I will no longer find you attractive.
Wow. Wow.
It's not a turn it on here and turn it off there. It's all or nothing.
Yeah.
You either a human being or you ain't a human being.
Yeah. It's
So if
human
I
nature, like
right,
Ronnie
so if I
said.
train my eyes not to recognize attractiveness, then
Hmm.
you no longer gonna be attracted to me down 10 years down the road.
Wow.
Now where we at?
Yeah, it's not a turn it on, turn it off type thing.
Yeah. So that ain't my thing at all. I can't get behind that. This is grown folks conversation that many can't hear. You're right.
Can't have.
Can't can't have. Oh yeah.
Hi,
What's up, Martine?
Martini.
What's up, family?
That's my martini.
There has to
It has to
be
be for
first security.
security in
Yep.
yourself and security in your relationship to even
Yep.
have it. Yep, that's
Samuel
absolutely
said
true.
loony. I agree. I agree with
It
I
is
agree with you that
loony.
it's not
That's
human.
true,
It's
Samuel.
not human. And that's why when I hear people say that and I read books that talk about that,
Mhm.
right? I'm like, listen, you are setting people up to fail.
Bounce your eyes. Like, what is that? Bounce your eyes.
And training not to sin. I like that, Holly. Training not to sin. Because here is the thing. Self-control is paramount because you are going to see someone who's attractive.
I think that's I think that's probably where they think they're coming from when they
Yeah,
say the
maybe.
whole not buying Sports Illustrated
Yeah.
magazines and training their eyes. I think that that is where it's coming from.
Right. Now here's the thing. I do agree to a certain degree. I can say yes. Don't ingest stuff that you don't have to.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
So
so the
if
Sports
the Sports
Illustrated,
Illustrated
yes,
thing is
yes,
a little
yes,
bit
yes.
too much for you,
Yeah.
then don't do that.
Hmm.
But don't be like, I'm going to train myself not that nothing is attractive. That's ludicrous.
Yeah.
We got some great points. Let's get into these comments. We
Yes.
got some good comments. Good evening, David Kennedy. What's good, bro?
Security is the main
Is the main
component.
component, right?
Agreed.
Jason said you can't train your eyes. It's right in front of you. Just got to control. There it is. That's what I was just saying.
Your
Self
lower
control.
control your lower passion. That is the solution.
Self control. Dr. Ez is in the house.
Hi, Auntie. She said your spouse is not the only person you can fall
Fall
in
in love
love
with.
with and have chemistry with. You simply need to believe that God gave you the best. No good thing will He withhold from you. You already have the best. Therefore, it's natural to look and be attracted, there's that word,
Mhm.
to others and even get a thrill from it. Wow.
That's interesting.
It confirms that you're still attracted. Wait. It confirms that you're still attractive and that makes my husband stay on his toes. And likewise, I don't take him for granted when I see his attraction to other women or they to him.
That's an
We both
interesting
know.
perspective.
Wow. That is an
That's
interesting
an interesting. We're
perspective.
going. I'm gonna come back to that in a second. That's an interesting perspective,
Mm,
which I actually like. But we'll
mhm.
come back to that.
Comparison is our wholehearted participation in the happiness of others. Wait a minute. Comparison
Oh,
is our
hold on. Donnie's
wholehearted
clowning in the
participation.
comments.
Shut up, Donnie. I'm trying to read. Stop. And the happiness. I don't have my
You want me to read
glasses
it?
on. Yeah, I don't have my glasses.
Comparison is our wholehearted participation in the happiness of others. It is the sympathetic
Joy
joy
we
we
feel,
feel for somebody else. Okay. Thus,
even when
comparison
they're
can be thought
positive
of
experience.
as opposite of jealousy. Yeah, I get that. I get that. I'm with that.
Comparison can be thought of as what? The
The
opposite of
opposite of jealousy
jealousy.
and possessiveness. I
Yeah,
get
yeah,
that.
yeah,
I get that.
yeah.
That's good. That's good. The Bible says, "By beholding, you become changed." Interesting. So, yeah,
Yeah,
unpack that, Jason,
yeah,
because
because I think that I interpret, well, not interpret, but I thought that that scripture meant by beholding Christ,
Christ, you become
we
changed.
become like Christ,
Yeah,
changed to be like
yeah.
Christ.
Unpack that, Jason. I think I know where you're going, but unpack that psychologically, psychological,
Psychological
and
and
psychosis.
psychosis guard the avenue of the soul.
So here's my question: Do I believe that it is possible to acknowledge what I see with my eyes
Hmm.
and still have the self control to guard my soul? I
Okay.
just can't believe that that would involve me not acknowledging that somebody is attractive.
Yes, yes. I think that, yeah.
Donnie said,
Yeah.
let's look at the story of David. He saw a woman and she was beautiful. The
The problem
problem
was
was when
when
he
he
acted.
acted upon it.
Got it.
Yep.
Got it.
Can't see those. Yes, dear ahead. I really can't see the small words. You are
At the
right.
end of the day, you have to make a choice. I agree with that. At the end of the day, you got to make a choice. Donnie's clowning us. That's an inside joke, but it's funny though. It's funny. Comparison.
Hmm.
Dave said it's an awesome perspective, Doc. Yeah, we coming back to Dr. Ez in a second because let me tell you something. What she said is, I promise you, is a problem for a lot of people.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go
Yes.
back to
Oh,
the
yeah.
comment in a
Yeah.
second.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
promise you, it's a problem. Uh,
Define comparison is not the same as
she's talking about
compersion.
um
What?
what she's talking about what Shannon put up, which is
Oh, compersion.
yeah. So
Compersion.
yeah,
Okay.
he did it. So
Oh, got you.
by
Got you.
beholding, we become changed. I believe there can be
A phonetic dimension to that text.
I get that. I get that. Let me go back to Doctor. Let me put up Doctor Ez's comment real quick because that's a perspective that a lot of people probably won't agree with, which is your spouse's. Well, not that part because it is true. You
Your
can
spouse is
fall in love with more than one person. That's another conversation for another Saturday night. But um, the part where she says, therefore, it's
natural
natural
to
to
look
look and
and
be
be
attracted.
attracted to others and even get a thrill from it.
That's interesting
Hmm.
because now the question becomes now, where's the line
Because
in that?
I guess my question would be what would be considered a thrill
Hmm.
and then what would be considered lust,
That's a good question.
right?
But so here can well nah, because I know people aren't going to agree with this when I say this. Yes, there is a biblical component to that, right? But is it possible that you and I can set a boundary that is specific to our marriage,
Like come to an agreement.
right? Of where the line is.
Mm.
This is the line you cannot cross.
Hmm.
So let's say, for example, you're like, hey, you know what? You can see a guy, you can acknowledge this guy, you can say something about this guy, you can talk about his features and all that kind of stuff and be like, oh man, he's built and da 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 da.
Hmm.
You can't say I want to sleep with him.
Hmm.
That's a line you can't cross. And
Yeah.
I'm being facetious, but you get what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
can a couple actually create what the boundary is, and can that still be within the parameters of not getting to lust?
I think that couples, yes, can create those boundaries, but it can't, I think it can't just be, what's up, Paul?
PG, what's good, bro?
It can't just be, this is what you can do, this is what you can't do, and that's it. You have to have, in my opinion, a conversation about it, right? Because I think that you can say, look, I'm okay with you doing or saying XYZ, but when you do or say XYZ, the other XYZ, it makes me feel this way.
So hold on to that
And
because
I think that you can't just say, this is where we draw the line and that's it. That's how it's going to be.
so hold on to that because Paul is going to take us in a different direction in a second. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
So Dr. S says true. You can acknowledge beauty and even sexual attraction toward each other. Interesting.
However,
However, it's important to be honest.
toward another, she said.
Right.
However, it's important to be honest because that's the only way to receive help from God to
You know what?
overcome the desires of the carnal
I agree with
nature.
that.
Yeah, I do too. I do
I agree
too.
with that.
Yep.
And Dr. Ez, that speaks to the reason why we're having these conversations. Because yes, you know what? And at first when I read it, I was like, "Ooh, that's
Of
maybe that's crossing the
course.
line." But you know what? That's real. Because if I do see that woman at work
Mm-hmm.
and I do acknowledge
Mm-hmm.
that she's attractive and that I am attracted to her.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, we had a conversation about what if I come home and I say, I've been working with this woman for X amount of time and I'm starting to feel something.
Yeah.
I believe that you should be able to do that.
Yeah, I do too. Because again, that speaks to, like Auntie said, the carnal nature because we're human and we're sinful. So who knows? That might be the thing that's in me. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so
So
so so
I
check
get
this
it.
out.
I get
Check
it.
this out. Is it okay to fantasize about the person during sex?
About, oh, the other person.
Right. If you agree on it, is it what was the next statement?
If you agree on it.
Remember? Because and you remember we talking about you said there's no clear cut.
Yeah, I
So that means if there's no clear cut,
I think that that is I don't think it's okay.
is that over the line?
I think for me that's over the line because what does that say about the person I'm or you? I'm making love to you and then I'm thinking about someone else.
Okay.
What does that say that you can't satisfy me, in my opinion?
That's interesting.
Yeah. I don't know. I
That
think
might
that's
be a
drawing the
conversation
line.
for another Saturday as well. Um,
Yeah.
so here's my thing. I'll give you my answer. I personally, I'm speaking about me, not anybody else. I cannot allow myself to fantasize about the woman at work while I'm with you.
How can you said you can't allow yourself?
I can't. Well, I'm not. I would not do that. Is what I'm saying.
Mm.
Me personally, that's a line that I would not cross because in order, and this is kind of speaks to what you just said. In order for me to do that,
Mm-hmm.
I have to switch my point of reference from what is attractive or
Mm-hmm.
what I am attracted to.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So remember what I said in this the post I made this week was like I believe that you should make your spouse the point of reference for what you are attracted to, not for what's attractive, for what you are attracted to. So if I'm fantasizing about XYZ woman while I'm in the bed with you, I have to shift my point of reference in order to do that
Mm-hmm.
from you to that other person.
Mm-hmm.
For me, that's over the line.
Yeah.
That's my line. I can't speak for anybody else, but that's
Mm,
my line.
this is good.
Appreciate you, bro. Thank you for sharing this, and those of you who are on, please feel free to share this as well. Also, can I make a request?
I think you're gonna go say what I was just about to say.
Yeah, can I make a request? Those of you who are on Facebook, we love our Facebook family to death. We're trying to grow our YouTube community. So if you have a moment to just switch over
Switch over to
to the
YouTube
YouTube
and
channel
subscribe.
and subscribe to the YouTube channel, we would love for you to do that as well. Dr. S says you can say whatever
Whatever
you
you
want to
want to
God.
God.
I agree with
Yep,
that.
I agree with that
I agree
so
with that. That's
much. You
good.
better
And
cry out for help, especially in yes,
yeah,
I so agree with that.
I agree with that.
100%.
Human indeed, the bed is undefiled. Um,
Wait, but Paul said, what are our thoughts on that? The bed is undefiled. It says
what?
defined,
Oh,
but undefiled.
what are our thoughts on the bed is undefiled? Here's what I believe, and I'm not a theologian. I don't play one on TV. I
You're not on TV.
I when I for me that means that there are um for see and there's going to be now I can't really answer because now my answer there's you can poke holes in my answer. I already know thinking about what I'm going to say, but what I was going to say is that for me what that means is that um all is all is good outside of a third party.
Mm.
The question now becomes where you could poke holes in that is if I'm fantasizing about
About
somebody,
someone else. Right.
do I subconsciously have a third party?
Right.
Right. So, yeah, that's maybe, Paul, you should tell us what it means.
You're right, Pastor.
you, you should tell us what that means. Honesty and openness allows us to protect, respect, and cover each other. Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yes, absolutely.
I agree with that. Nope and nope and nope. Not a good
Not a good
idea.
idea.
Boundaries. I think we're
Boundaries.
talking about the fantasizing
Mm.
is what I
Okay.
believe Dave is referring to.
Okay.
No fantasizing, Dr. Ed said as well. Uh, what else we got? Other people talking about the fantasizing.
Mm-hmm.
Fantasizing is about another, is lust and sin. Okay.
Fantasizing about another is lust and sin.
So that's how we're allowed to satisfy, or that's how we are allowed to satisfy each other. What were you referring to, Paul? I'm trying to catch up on the comments. I'm
Yeah.
way behind.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Elizan said, wow, that's deep. Oh, I think Paul was talking about undefiled. So he said understood. Lusting, Jason says, is the
Is the
start of
start of
the
the
end of
end
a
of the
relationship.
relationship. The Bible even says that if you look at another woman, oh, you
It's the
that you have committed the act with her. Yes, it
right,
does say that.
right. If look meaning lust, though, is that a clarification? Look meaning lust. Like if I look at a woman in the grocery store, I've already
Look meaning lust.
okay.
I'm pretty sure that is what. Yeah, that's a good question. I think that's what it means.
Where David went wrong was going from viewing to doing. Got it.
Hmm.
Yeah. Pizzo said he's going to YouTube. Appreciate you, bro.
Thank you.
That's what's up. Uh,
I honestly believe that couples should always strive to an atmosphere of vulnerability and free of
what
ridicule.
was that, Samuel? Yeah.
You can discuss anything. Yep.
Yeah. Jason said, look, meaning lust.
Yeah.
Um, a three core strand, all
Three chord
good.
strand,
It's
all
not
good, is
easily
not
broken.
easily broken, but that third chord must be Christ.
Yeah. So,
Wow,
and here,
that, wait a minute.
go ahead.
Don't skip over that too
Go ahead.
quickly.
Go ahead.
That is pretty deep because a three chord strand
Mm-hmm.
is not easily broken, but who's to say that that third chord is Christ? It's supposed to be.
Wow. Okay.
It just says a three chord strand is not easily broken. So a three chorded strand, yes, it's
Mhm.
not easily broken. That third chord we know is supposed to be Christ.
Right.
But who's to say that it is
And if
in
it's
some people's
and
relationships?
if it's not, if it is something else,
Mhm.
that is also not easily broken.
Right, that's my point.
Got you.
Wow,
Wow.
that's deep.
So here is Pizzo. Yeah, essentially that is what it is. Um, so here's my, and that's why I feel that this is important. And I wasn't even going to spend a lot of time in this area, but it's obviously a great conversation.
Paul, so the YouTube is youtube.com/Denali LLC.
Yeah. Let me see if I can put it in here.
Yeah, youtube.com/Denali LLC. Yolande said, the mind doesn't know the difference between what you think and what you do. Whatever lustful thoughts you have is the same as the act in the mind. And I think that's what the scripture talks about when it says, if you even look at another woman,
Okay.
then you've committed the act with her.
Let me throw that up there. That was this comment.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So here's my thing, and I love that this is where the conversation went
Mm-hmm.
because I agree with that. Right.
Mm-hmm.
There are definitely some nuances as it relates to where you're, because you asked the question early on, what do you do next?
Right.
So there definitely are some nuances as it relates to what you do next.
Mm-hmm.
My main thing is that we got to stop telling folk or letting folk assume that they can't see somebody and feel like
Right.
they're attractive.
Right. That it's wrong to think that someone other than your spouse is attractive. Correct.
Because and we got to stop beating on folk
Mm-hmm.
who are confident enough
Mm-hmm.
to be able to say that someone else is attractive.
Yeah.
Because here's the
Yeah.
thing, let's be
I
honest.
agree.
Let's be honest. If we are in the mall
Hmm.
and we see a couple in front of walking in front of us
Hmm.
and a girl walks by
Hmm.
and the dude turns around and looks, we're gonna say something about that guy. Be honest. You be like, why is he looking at her?
Oh yeah,
He got a girl next to
absolutely.
him.
Yeah. I don't
See?
know. I don't know.
We
I
do
don't.
it. I'm telling you, we
Yeah,
do it all the time.
we do. But here, we. I guess where do we draw the line? Because if they're coming towards you,
Mhm.
do you have to continue to look as they walk by and then turn around and look? Is that wrong?
Can we determine what a
What?
person's acknowledgement looks like?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, if he starts running after her and grabbing and all of that, then we like, yeah, he crossed the line big time,
Everybody in the mall would
right?
think that was
Right.
wrong.
But to look back and be like, man, wow, okay, that's all right, and keep moving.
Mm.
Now to look back and then look back so long that you crash into the kiosk, that's a different. That's then you probably look too long. you know, you look too long. Listen, I know a guy when I was growing up that crashed his car looking at a girl on the side of the road.
Oh my
That's too
goodness.
long. So to go to people's question in the beginning, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 1 minute. If you crash your car, it's too long.
Too long.
It's too long. You know what I mean? But we can't really say though. All jokes aside, you
Yeah.
can't. The way you acknowledge
Maybe different.
might be the different than how the next person acknowledges.
Okay. So I guess it boils down to you just have to talk about that with your spouse. If it makes your spouse uncomfortable,
Hmm.
then maybe you should have that talk as to, you know, what to do. Like turning around and looking makes your spouse uncomfortable, then maybe you shouldn't do that.
I agree with that. Certain actions beyond attraction are problematic for relationships. You're right. And so listen, before I go to the First Corinthians comment, so you're right about that. I believe that couples should, and here's why these conversations are important. I believe that couples should be strategic in game planning all of these kinds of scenarios.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So listen, babe, the question is not going to be are you going to ever see an attractive person?
Correct.
The question is, okay, when you see this guy in the mall and you're with me and you're like, man, that dude looks really good.
Hmm.
Here's how we go about doing that.
Right.
Tell me,
Right.
show me the guy,
Yeah.
allow me to, make whatever funny comment I'm gonna make. Like he ain't as good as me though. He don't be flipping you around like I be flipping you around. Whatever it is, right? Let me
Gosh.
let me make my comment. Let me make my comment, and then let's keep it moving.
Oh my
And then
goodness.
we agree on that, and then we could keep it moving. But people don't do that. They don't have those conversations.
Yeah.
And then when it happens, there's a blow up because there was
Hmm.
no blueprint.
Yeah.
There was no game plan about how to do that.
Yeah.
Right.
See, Pizzo said way too long, and that's what I was thinking too.
Let me go back up those for comment. First Corinthians 13 says, love rejoices in the truth, all of the truth of it, of life. The
The
enemy
enemy
wants
wants to
a cover
cover
up.
up because in that spot his darkness shines.
Yeah. Yeah. What you do next is this. Keep moving. Feel the emotion you're experiencing. If it's lustful, speak to God. If it was a healthy gaze with no emotional attachment and just an appreciation, then press forward with your day.
Hmm.
Let me ask you this, Dr. Ez, you personally, if you don't mind commenting this, right?
Know what you're feeling and be honest with
Right.
God.
So let me ask you this, right? And we're so first of all, those of you who may not know who this person is, this is a family member who is also a relationship coach.
She's
Her
a
and
doctor.
well, but they're coaches though. They have a coaching company.
Okay.
Yes, they're both doctors, Dr. Art and Dr. Ez,
She's a psychologist.
psychologists, and they own a counseling coaching.
I'm sorry.
Just
I was just
put
giving
put
my family her props.
you know
Go
what?
ahead. Go ahead.
Put your information in the comments because I just butchered it all up. They work with couples and they're good. So put it that way. So
Yeah.
let me ask you this: you're in the mall with my guy Art. That's my man. You see another guy, and what you feel for him is lustful. Can you and Art have a conversation about that?
Mm.
Let me know that in the comments. Are you
Oh,
able to be like, Art, man, I saw this dude in the mall. Phew. gave me a hot flash. Can you guys have that conversation? I believe that couples should be able to have that conversation, but I'm just curious. So Paul said way too long. I think he was talking about the accident.
Auntie said, can't post comments to some at the bottom to some distant.
No, 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 no.
Oh,
That's me. That's
never
us.
mind.
Yeah, that's
Never
us.
mind. Never
That's us.
mind.
What if your spouse is not uncomfortable with you looking and flirting? Now, flirting,
Flirting. Mm.
you got to define what flirting is, because
Yeah.
flirting for me could potentially be crossing the line,
Yeah.
right? So it flirting, and then there's a nuance there, right? Because my wife has told me in the past that I'm charismatic. So sometimes in some situations, charisma is taken,
As
received
being
on the other end
yeah.
as flirting.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't trying to flirt with you. I'm just, this is who I am every day.
Mm-hmm.
I talk to people, I say stuff, I make jokes, and all that kind of stuff. That's between you and God how you take it, I guess. But I don't know. The flirting thing, if your spouse is comfortable with flirting, that's a very different Saturday conversation
Yeah.
that I'm willing to have. I'm willing to have, trust me. But me personally, since you're asking the question, me personally, I don't know that I would be comfortable with what I categorize as flirting.
Mm-hmm.
So if you see, going back to what we saw, if you saw the person in the mall, right? And
Mm-mm-mm.
you like, man, this guy is something else, man. And we're in the store with him. He's buying a suit, and you go up to me like, you that would look good on you. I would love to see you. And that's flirting to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not cool with that.
No, I'm not either.
Yeah, let's stop at, yeah, dude is got
He's
himself together.
attractive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's stop there. But to answer your question, listen, I can't tell a couple what they should be comfortable with and
Right.
what they should not be
Right.
comfortable
Right.
with.
Right. That's up to
So
that's between the couple.
right, so if those are the parameters that you draw, the lines that you draw, then that those are the lines you draw. I would say this, and it's not really an advice show, but I would say be careful, because that's a line that can be blurred easily. So
Mm.
when you set up boundaries, the boundaries need to be clear cut.
Yeah.
If the boundaries can be smudged,
Mm.
then you're gonna get in trouble down the road.
That's true.
You're gonna get in trouble down the road.
So Paul said, yes, you should be able to have that conversation with your best friend. I agree.
I agree with that.
I agree.
I agree with that.
Look at,
Dr. S said yes, we can.
yeah, she said, look, we always do. I've even asked him to pray for me.
See,
That's
I
real.
love it.
That's
I
real.
love it. And that is the goal of these Saturday night conversations, is to get to that point.
Right. Right.
Because I'm gonna tell you that what she just said
That's real.
is gonna cause people to split up.
Mm.
Somebody gonna be sleeping in the living room. Somebody gonna be sleeping at their boy's crib because they can't, because they fighting and fussing and nobody can't talk because of that. If you go to somebody, there are couples right now that if somebody said, listen, you know what? Just like what I told you.
Mhm.
If I come home and I'm like, man, I've been working with this woman for 6 months on this project, and just, man, just we've been working 10, 12 hours a day. I'm starting to feel something.
Yeah.
For some people, that's like, oh, you starting to feel something? Well, you can get out.
Go feel it then.
Right. 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 Flirting is crossing the line. That's what we're seeing a couple people saying, that flirting is a no.
Yeah.
Don't
Don't
give
give
that
that
inch.
Some may take a mile.
And that's true.
That's
And
the whole blurred lines
that's
thing.
the whole blurred lines thing. And I got to be fair to both sides. There are some people
Mhm.
who can flirt, and it is, to them, it is completely harmless, and to their
Really?
mate. Yep.
Mm.
I knew people I almost said the word. I knew people at where I worked
Mm.
who could flirt heavily, and it
Wow.
was just hallway talk.
Yeah.
Now, I don't
Okay.
know their personal lives. I don't know if they really acted on it or not, but you know, I
Yeah.
and
That's
and
dangerous to
and
me.
I'm just, and be clear, let's be clear. This is not about us really, not this particular show is not about us projecting our ideology on anybody. I'm just telling you that from my point of view, what I categorize as flirting smudges the line.
Right.
That's just me. That's just me. I think the definition should be clear in the relationship. I agree with that. We can't assume that the other is okay with the looking or flirting.
Absolutely.
Stevie Burke, shout out to Stevie Burke.
Yep.
Flirting is intentional.
Wow. Flirting is intentional.
Okay, so
So meaning that you're intending for it to go beyond flirting?
and even if you're not intending for you it to go, even if you're intending not intending to end up in the bedroom, I think it speaks to what we were saying earlier, where I'm like, I can see someone who's attractive,
Mhm.
but when I become attracted to them,
Mhm.
I have now crossed into an area
Mhm.
that could lead me somewhere that I
Yeah.
don't want
Yeah,
to
for
go.
sure. For
And
sure.
that's what flirting does, I
Yeah.
believe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Flirting, even if you feel like it's harmless, flirting gets you into the lobby of a building you might not want to be in.
Mm.
And some of us are strong enough to stay in the lobby, but some of us get lured into the elevator
Mhm.
and we just go up to the penthouse.
Wow.
Right. And so I think that's the danger.
Mhm.
Do you have the I don't even know that I want to test whether I have the self control to be in the lobby.
Mhm.
I'm just going to keep walking down the street and be like, that's a dope lobby, but I'm going that way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's just kind of my thing. Um, we always talk about our attraction to others. It's natural for us. I've even asked him to pray for me if I feel overwhelmed with an attraction, because we know we are the best thing for each other. Therefore, the attraction
It's the
is the
plan
plan
of
of the
the
enemy.
enemy. Together we fight.
So, Dr. Ez, let's be clear.
Yes.
You're on a different level. And I'm not, and I know we're laughing about that, but I say that with the
Utmost
utmost respect.
respect, of course.
I do. I say
Yes.
that with the utmost respect,
Yes.
because the whole reason we started this show is so that we could
Get there.
get there.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the whole reason we started, so that we could get there.
Yeah.
Because you have to. Here's the problem when you cannot do what she just described.
Mhm.
The problem is, I see the woman in the mall. I can't say anything to you. I
Right.
can't acknowledge it.
Yeah.
And I'm feeling some kind of way more than maybe what I should feel. I can't come to you about it.
Mhm.
So I bottle it up. Now, let's say I'm not mature enough in my walk with Christ to even go to him about it. Now I've just got this stuff just deep down in me
Mm.
that I got to figure out how to deal with.
Wow.
And that's dangerous. That's dangerous.
Yeah.
That's dangerous. Doctor said you are right. We
We
are.
are.
We
We have
have 30
30
years.
years.
We have 30 years
That's
in this game.
awesome.
So here's the thing. I just
Cannot
realized
believe it.
something.
That's amazing.
This show is only supposed to be an hour.
I know.
I just realized what time it is.
Yeah.
It's 11 o'clock. It's been 2 hours. Um,
No.
when did we start? At 10?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought we started at 9. Oh, we're good. We're good. We're good. Okay, we're good. So here's the thing. I love this. And for those of you who are watching, I hope that you guys subscribe on the YouTube channel. I will keep putting these on Facebook for a while, just because I know there's a lot of folk who tune in more on Facebook sometimes. But please, if you are so inclined, please go over to YouTube. We're trying to grow that community
Mhm.
for several reasons. But go over to that community and
And
go there as well
subscribe.
and subscribe.
Subscribe.
There's a difference between looking and seeing.
Looking means you are directing your eyes in a specific direction.
Hmm.
Hmm. Yeah.
Okay. I
Yeah.
okay. Seeing a okay. I can get behind that.
Yeah.
I can get behind that. I can get behind that. So here's the thing. You guys know how we feel about it. We and in all transparency, we've never had this conversation
We
before.
haven't. Not beyond
Not beyond celebrity
who do you
quote
think is
unquote
attractive?
crushes.
Yeah.
Right.
Not a crush.
Well, not
Well,
crush,
not
yeah,
for
but
me
who you
anyway.
think is attractive. Right.
Yeah.
So and like somebody said earlier in the comments, those folk are out of reach anyway. So it's easy to say that. Right.
Right.
But the girl in Giant, right, who looks some kind of way, that's
Mhm.
you can reach out and touch that. So Stevie said, I believe flirting is playing with a fire.
Yeah. And we have
And if
no
we have no
water to
water,
put it out. It will
yep,
burn out of
I
control.
agree with that.
Yep. I do too.
Flirting is dangerous.
Yeah,
Flirting
it
is
is
dangerous. And
dangerous.
here's the thing. You might be you might be harmless.
Yeah.
But the other person, when
Mm.
they call you on it, now
Mm.
you got a decision to make.
Mm. Mercy.
You got a decision to make. It might be harmless, but you got a decision to make. And so that's, I don't know. For me, that's a touchy
Yeah, it's
dangerous
dangerous.
spot
It's
to be in.
dangerous.
Which I I understand why it happens
Hmm.
because it's what's the word? There's some level of excitement. That's not the word I'm looking for, but there is some euphoria in flirting.
Mm.
There is. The problem is what happens when the person calls your
Calls
card,
you on it. Yeah.
because that can happen more often than not,
Right.
right? Then you got to be like, oh no, I got to why you start backpedaling and looking
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Wow.
yeah,
This was good.
that's a good one. That's a good one. Arousal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. So listen, this we gonna I know it's folk in the comments, man. They might like why you shutting it down now. But here's the thing. What's up, Constance?
Hey, Constance.
What's good, fam? If you're not following Constance, make sure you following her and her husband. They're doing some fantastic things. Just came out with volume 2 of a phenomenal book. So make sure you we want to get more information about it. Make sure you are checking her out as well, along with Stevie Burke. Shout out to Stevie Burke and the CLC family. Um, Good folks. We just had a good time with them a couple weeks back.
We
So,
did.
so listen. Here's the thing. Subscribe on YouTube. Here, let me say this to you as well. If you have some topics that you feel like are great topics for an after dark session, email them to admin@denali.org. Questions, comments, topics you think are great topics, or leave them in the comments, and we'll be sure to add them to the list of things that we are going to talk about. This show is going to dig into some things that we don't often talk about,
Yeah.
that need to be talked about. And we're going to say some things that we know people are thinking, but they don't come out and say,
Right.
right? And we're relationship folks, so we're gonna be in under the umbrella of relationships, a lot of intimacy and sexual type topics, because those are really taboo
Yeah.
in our space, and those are the things that we see trip up couples very often.
Hmm.
Communication and being able to talk about everything and not leaving things to chance and not assuming, all of those things are some of the things that we're going to cover in these spaces.
Adult stuff. That's
Adult
right.
stuff. That's right.
Adult stuff.
Uh,
So if you do have a
like, share, and
question or
subscribe. Thank you, Gary. Appreciate you, bro.
if you do have a question or comment or a topic that you would want us to talk about and but you want to remain anonymous, just make sure that you say that when you
Yes.
submit it to us.
Yes, indeed. Indeed. Awesome job, Denali. Love this. We need this. Yes. Thank you, Dr. Ez. And thank you
Thank
for,
you.
you know what? We're gonna have to have you on one of these Saturday nights. You and Art. So we can talk about, I'll reach out to you and we can maybe set up a time in the
That'd be
future
great.
to have a conversation. But yeah, man, we love this, man. Thank you guys for joining us, man. We don't take it lightly that you've taken some time out of your Saturday night
Mhm.
when you really could be having sex right now.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I said it. I said it. So you can go do that after the
All right.
after the credits
Oh,
roll. You can have a fantastic Saturday night. But
okay.
listen, let me just say one more thing, and then I promise I will let you go. One more thing.
Mm.
Tomorrow at 6 o'clock, if you are new to us and you don't know about this, tomorrow at 6 o'clock, Inside the Relationship. This is episode 5, I believe, coming up. We are loving doing this show. So
So
please
good.
join us if you're around at 6 o'clock tomorrow for Inside the Relationship. Please go check out the other episodes.
Yeah, they were great.
The other episodes have been great as well. We are trying to do our best to live in this relationship space in a way that is an encouragement and an inspiration to those that are on the journey as well.
Hmm.
Right. So that's where we're at. We love you guys. We're gonna get up out of here for a little while. Let's see who we got. I want to make sure I acknowledge the comments. Learning Healing Mentoring Group. Yes, Oliver.
Don't encourage him, please.
Yes, I already know it. That's why I don't take it lightly. There's a good amount of people watching, and they
Uh,
could have been doing something else right now. Right? I'm trying to do something else too. So that's why I'm trying to hurry up, shut the show down.
okay.
So Oliver Marcel is
Is
the
the truth.
truth. Love is Candid Spirit. Thank you. Keep it all the way a buck. Thank
Pray
you.
for me, Joe.
Thank you. I
Pray for
appreciate
me.
that. I appreciate that. Good night, family. Good
Good
night,
night,
family.
Constance.
So we're gonna get out of here. Listen, so we're gonna try to do this every Saturday night. I can't promise. I'm gonna be honest. I can't promise we're gonna be here every Saturday night,
Yeah, I can't
but
promise that either.
we will be here as much as we can, having these kinds of conversations, because the goal is one. The goal is, I'll be honest. I have a kind of a selfish goal. The goal is I'm trying to get closer to her. So I'm trying to have some conversations that I know we need to have.
Mm.
But then I want to encourage you guys to be able to have these conversations as well, right?
Yeah, Joe, you have to go back to watch
Oh
the
yeah, yeah. You got to
replay.
watch the whole
Oof,
thing. Yeah, you
this
got to
was a
watch.
really, really
Yeah,
good
you got to watch the whole thing.
conversation.
You got to watch the whole thing. Definitely. So listen, we're gonna get out of here. We're gonna enjoy some. We're gonna spend a little time together. See, I can't. I'm stuttering. I'm thinking about the future. So we're gonna
Oh my
we're
goodness.
gonna kick off the rest of our Saturday night, and we hope that you guys have a fantastic rest of the evening. We pray God's blessing on you. Hey, what's good? We got some Andrews folk in the house. What's happening? Thanks for joining.
Aw.
Hey, good night. Thank you for coming through Uncut Convos. Absolutely. So we out of here, folks. Have a blessed evening. Have a great weekend. Again, join us tomorrow for Inside the Relationship at 6 o'clock. Though you're my Facebook family, if you're not subscribed on YouTube, please go over to youtube.com/Denali LLC. Subscribe and hit the bell so you can see when we have more of these kinds of conversations come up. All right. Listen, we out of here. We love you. And listen, please talk. Talk.
Yes. All right. Let's
Please
go.
talk. Let's go. Peace out, family.
Good
Blessings.
night, everybody.